Welcome back to Open Your Eyes, and we're now moving into our first segment. We've got some energy going on here. Woo-hoo! That's what you can tell you.
A little bit of friendliness.
Yeah, we've got it. But the intro is simply that the Belize Film Commission, they'll be holding Actors Workshop with actor Willie Arks. In with us is Willie himself.
Oh, is that who I am?
Yes,
okay, wow.
That's you. And no stranger to media, no stranger to TV, Ms. Suzette Zaydan, Belize Film Commission. It's always nice to see you. Welcome and good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Morning.
Thanks for having us.
Look at the energy here.
Okay, John, I feel like you got all the energy, John. That's okay. We're trying to keep it up with you, my friend.
She'll tell you, one of the
and without coffee.
Guys. Yeah, without
Me
coffee.
neither. So
that's
all right.
All right. So welcome, guys, and let's get on into this. Ms. Sue, it's always good to see you. It's always good to hear what the Belize Film Commission is actually got going or trying to push across. What's going on? What's the latest with you?
Well, actually, this project is jointly the Belize Film Commission and the Belize International Film Festival. Mm-hmm. As you may know, we didn't have a festival last year due to COVID and other restructuring. We're doing restructuring with the festival. Okay. But recently, we've been trying to do more training workshops. There was a study released by the IDB, I think this week, that was supported by Netflix that looked at the Latin America and the Caribbean markets, and what is most important is that we need to push training opportunities for our people. Wally and I were having a discussion earlier talking about why we don't get big studios to come to do big films, because they want to see an infrastructure in place already. They want to see the people already trained. And that's what was pointed out in the study, that's the problem with our small population countries and the economies, that we don't take these industries seriously, even though they have great potential, and we don't push education, we don't push training. And so we're taking advantage of the fact that Wally is in Belize this week, and we've been trying to work with him for about 5 or 6 years now. It's been a cat and mouse game.
I know, yes, sorry.
And so we heard he was here, and he quickly agreed that, you know what, this is it. You got me. I want to do it. Let's get this acting workshop going. And so we have tried to round up some of the budding actors in Belize, and most of the people who have signed up are actually acting already.
Okay.
It's a very small group.
Yeah.
But they're all jumping at the opportunity to work with Wally and to get something from his experience or his insights on what it is like to act on a set, on a series.
No, it's cool.
Wait, Willie, so you paused your vacation to be able to train the actors and actresses?
Well, yeah, it's thank you. Wow, look at that live service. I like that. It's funny because she was actually asking before I flew in, she was asking what I wanted to do, and I told her, to be honest, like that is something I'm actually passionate about because the training and the opportunities to actually work with the new generation, because I'm not the new generation anymore as I get older. But the whole idea, exactly what she's saying, like sort of. What's helped me in my career were people help guide me through it, and so the idea of maybe being able to pass along some knowledge I have, just a little bit. I mean, it's not like, look, no one knows everything. There's no handbook per se anymore, especially because social media's changed a lot. With the apps and the websites and all that, YouTube. You have people now where if you make your own series, you can get on there and somehow a producer sees that, and then you can become huge. I mean, look at Issa Rae with Insecure. That she started off doing her own web series, and that became huge. But the idea though is, as far as doing scripted television, it is kind of good maybe to get a little bit more training, just see how people attack scripts and things like that, and what works. So we're open at home.
Willie, we're blessed to have you in. I'm not sure. I've read something and it said that your mom is Belizean.
My mom is Belizean.
So tell us a little about yourself. I mean, you're in this big industry, acting movies, and I saw something about Superman and whatnot. This guy is huge.
No. Okay, I don't know about huge. We're gonna calm these words down. There's no hugeness going on here.
He's lying.
No. It is. You got some of that stuff going on right now. Yeah, luckily I'm on a show called Superman and Lois, which airs on the CW, as you can see right there in the US. Yeah. But it's a worldwide show. I mean, obviously, with an IP like Superman, it's really, really huge.
Yeah.
I play a character named John Henry Irons, who's actually named Steel. That's me fighting Superman right there. Getting knocked out. So it's kind of cool. I mean, in a way, he's sort of like the first black Superman, if you want to say it that way. He was created in the early '90s during the death of Superman comics or whatnot. So it's been kind of cool to portray this character for the first time on live TV. You know, it's been really, really nice.
So you've got Belizean roots, and
I do, 100%.
so when coming here to Belize, was it because you wanted to have a vacation here at home, or you just came here to do some work? Tell us about your roots.
Well, no, that's a good question. So I mean, bittersweet. Sadly, you know, my cousin passed away, and we're here to bury his ashes or whatever. That's what we're actually here for. But at the same time, no, I was born in the U.S., but my mother's Belizean. The whole side of that family is Belizean. I'm actually a first-generation American.
Sweet.
So yeah, but we had a place on George Street. I would come here every summer when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, hang out all the time. It was funny because I was joking with Mom about like having a gacho. And like some empanadas and all that stuff and whatnot. So no, I do have a lot of Belize culturalism based in me because like I said, I used to spend all my time here when I was a kid. Not as much as I've grown up, but I do come back a lot. My mother lives here. You know, my uncle, actually her and my uncle, they have a complex over here. So no, we do spend a lot of time here. It's just I'm not based here anymore.
Okay.
But I do have roots. A large amount.
You said before the landscape has changed, and it really has. I mean, people are using all kinds of platforms to be able to get themselves out there, and they get discovered for things like acting and modeling. How do you think that gives Belizeans an opportunity to be able to leverage themselves and get discovered?
That's a good question. I mean, that's the thing. You know, here's to be honest with you, I'm not the best with social media. That's my handicap because that's kind of that's a little bit after my generation, just because I'm not the best. I'm not the most adapted. I kind of did old school way where you would go in, make exactly like get good relationships with casting directors, audition. You kind of work your way up. The thing about now is you have these situations where you have kids go on. They on what is it, TikTok? Instagram, YouTube, or whatever. They have these channels that, like I said, people get recognized. And the beauty of it is, which I didn't have, is that people, from a smaller country like Belize could go on and they could just get a huge audience. So therefore, you don't have to necessarily be in LA or New York to get recognized. But the thing is, you do have to be consistent and you do have to put in the work. And that's why she was talking about the workshop that we're doing, because regardless of, how you want to get your start in the business, it is about commitment. I think people don't understand that, it's a business. It's called the entertainment business. What you guys are doing is work. It takes a lot of work to do what you do every day and show up here and do that. I think people think, I see sometimes people have come up to be like, I think about being an actor. I don't know. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm thinking about being a carpenter. Let's see how that goes. I might build a building. Let's see how that works. I'm
tomorrow,
It's not easy like that. And that's the thing. So if you're interested, if you're a young Belizean and you're really interested in the business, I would say, look, get some friends together, like a lot of kids do any place in the world right now. Maybe work some stuff together, like, work on like a script here and there, shoot a little like little film with your friends, and it might start off kind of silly or whatever, but if you keep doing it more and more and more, if you are serious about it, you can get noticed. And you have no clue who's paying attention. That's the beauty of it.
And I'd like to point out that they can get noticed by submitting those little films that they make to the Belize International Film Festival. And possibly they can be selected and be seen by a wider audience. So we've provided a forum for them to send their things to. So we're trying to put the infrastructure in place to get the industry moving. So we encourage all the young people out there to make their own films.
Indeed.
So let's talk about what it takes, right? You talk about the hard work, and that's with every profession.
100%.
But my question is, how much is it raw talent and how much is it proper training?
Oh, that's a really good question. That's I'm trying to see if I could give a percentage. I'll tell you this. I'd rather work with someone who's 100% dedicated and will put in the work than someone who's just got pure raw talent but is lazy. Because I've run into that situation where people are like, they're golden or whatever, but at the same time, but then you see them on set and they're like, no, I'm not that, I'm good, and like, or whatever. They come on, they're not prepared. And let me tell you something, like, as I'm sure are aware, time is money. And these producers, and again, it's a business. So you could be the most talented person in the world, but if you're not good to work with, people aren't going to want to work with you. So I feel like maybe, look, raw talent is the thing. It's not like magically, you can become a good actor, if you just aren't good at sort of even communicating, that's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
But it's not everything. You do need to put in the work and the commitment, because it's not just us. It's not just you.
Yeah. Mhm.
It's a team you're working with.
I think with this work in this workshop, one of the questions that might pop up would be, when you say put in the work, when you say always be prepared.
Yes.
What do you mean? Like for instance, and I'd like to throw this out to yourself. When you're preparing, what do you do?
Good question. So for me, I when I show up, like, I'm sorry, this is funny. I'm watching random scenes on the show behind there, whatever. First, when we did this scene, I came in as an actor. Obviously, I knew my lines already, but I also had ideas about what the scene was about.
Yeah.
I came prepared, being like, basically, I came to the director and said, hey, this is what I think the scene is about. I came ready to work with other actors or whatever. I came with ideas. The whole idea is, if you come sort of to make everyone else's life easier, people appreciate that. The worst thing you can have, and we've had situations like that, not on this show and on other shows, where people come with, they're like, I don't know my lines, you forget your lines, you don't know what you're doing or whatever, and that's bad, because you're getting paid a good amount of money to do that. You know, and there are a lot of people. Look, the thing about the show, any kind of show, is you might have that job, but if you don't want it, there are thousands of people behind you who will take that job.
Yeah.
And best believe you will get replaced. You should trust me, it will happen.
What do you think is the toughest learning curve for people when they first get introduced into this career?
So it's funny. I think there's training, like we're talking about, like you said, we're doing the
Yeah.
workshop tomorrow, which I think will be really nice. I'm really looking forward to that. But then that's training sort of on the stage, obviously no cameras there. For me, it's learning to work around cameras and people. And that's something you really don't get until you work on actual set. As you can see, because like while we're here, like, there are people around us, there are camera people, there are people like who might be talking around you and all these other things. The weirdest thing I've had to do is, do a scene where we're acting together, but magically I can't see you because the camera's in front of me, it's blocking you. So I'm acting off a piece of tape that exists right here, and then you're talking there, and then and there's like 100 people around us, and somehow it has to act like it's an intimate scene. These are things that you really can't fully learn until you get on set, but it's something you just have to get accustomed to and learn to just sort of adapt. I'm sure it's the same thing for you guys. There are things you just have to like learn on the fly, like the skill that you guys have. No, seriously, it's not what you guys do. I want to make sure people understand this is not easy. You make it look easy, and that's what makes you good at what you do.
Yeah.
I know that, Suzette, you've worked with people before, even if you're doing commercials or in other scripted programs. For us, I know when we do advertisements, one of the things that people have a hard time adjusting to is how many takes they have to take. It's like, do it again. That one sounded good. and it's all a part of the process. How do you think the actors who are going to be a part of the workshop are going to benefit from this?
I don't think they'll have that experience, what we're going for here, because it's not on the set and it's not really being done with cameras. What we're going for is for them to actually understand how to portray the character, feel the character they're supposed to. In fact, Willie gave them a lot of homework already.
Oh, wow.
I wrote a bunch of stuff like how to prepare. Basically, she's right, like how to analyze. Because you're right, but we won't. I mean, we won't necessarily have to go multiple times, but we do expect people to come prepared. And again, what's what's the idea for the character? What is this scene about? What do you want out of this scene? Where is it taking place? Things like that. Those things again, which is just something as an actor, which maybe as a new actor you might not necessarily be thinking about, but as something as a seasoned person you might be able to add your own creativity and your flair to it.
And for example, we gave out sides. Sides are what you call the pages in the script. So there's about three sides that they got to study from. But in addition to the side, he gave them the actual script. So he says your job is to read the script and understand who you are, what your character is, and then this is your scene that you'll perform. So it's not just a random scene. They had to actually understand the story and where they fit into it. So we'll see how good they are and in what areas they could perhaps get better. It's not that much different than actually script writing, where you actually have to understand what the story is that you're trying to tell and what the character, who the character is. You can't just read the lines.
Or think I can sound sad and that means I'm in character.
Exactly, I'm sad.
But how tough is that? I mean,
You know, that's a good question. I will say, and this is again where you talk about things you can't really learn. Like for instance, if you have a very emotional scene, things are going to happen around you regardless because people have to get things done.
Yeah.
So I know for me, one of my methods, what I do is I take my phone and I go I find a little quiet corner. I put on some music, like you know, because suddenly you've got
Like
5
heartbreak
minutes.
music?
Like no, you honestly you put on like maybe some sad music, whatever something gets you triggered emotionally. I'll go to the side and like kind of work my own process, and that works for me. And I'll listen to it, and then I'll be able to come up, and then you know they're like, okay, let's go. Because when you know if you have an intimate scene where you know sadly someone just passed away, it's kind of hard when we've all just been joking and laughing around, you know, and there's like 50 people around you. There's this cameraman, there's this light person, there's this person talking, or whatever, and they're like, and go, and you're like, oh my God, you know, like it's you have to find a process that works for you, and that's just honestly time. Yeah. That's kind of time and preparation. That's something which you have to find on your own. But things like
and
that.
And
work for
even the face, because you could, I mean, everything can be seen in the
Facial
face
expression,
oftentimes.
the way
So
you
you might
sound.
come and really sound sad, but your eyes are telling you.
100%. Well, that's the thing about camera acting versus stage acting. That's
Yeah.
another difference. Is like, you know, when you're on the stage, you know, you have to work for the person who's in the last row of the audience, and so you have to be much bigger. When you're on TV, that doesn't work because the camera is literally right
in
here.
front of you.
You know, so it picks up everything, every nuance, every like little flick of the eye or whatever, those things like that. So it's a little more subtle, but you're right. Those things do matter as well.
Yeah. Cool.
What do you enjoy the most about it?
Oh, honestly, I like playing different characters. I do like the idea of playing something that's not me. Like for me, just because there's something about, I guess in a way, any actor, I'd imagine, kind of likes to play make-believe. Like they're that kid back in the day who likes to do story time and just sort of like, okay, let's do this, let's do this, imagine this scenario, and you just throw yourself into that. For me, what I really enjoy is when you kind of, I like to describe it as going on a roller coaster ride. Like you're like, okay, I don't know where this scene is gonna go, but I'm willing to go on that journey.
Yeah.
And once you get on there, you kind of find out, you're like, oh, I don't know we're gonna go there. And after you're kind of like, what just happened? But you felt some emotional connection. You felt some emotional vulnerability.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now,
What's your ultimate role that you'd wanna play?
Oh,
The president?
God. No, you know, honestly, it depends. No. To be honest, like they were doing a show. They were doing do you guys know the show Luther? Have you heard of that show with Idris Elba? It's on Netflix.
Idris Elba is on the flick. Luther?
Luther was a show. It was a BBC show. Luther. Anyway, he played a detective. He was like really cerebral, kind of messed up. I tend to like characters a little more messed up, a little more dark, a little more introspective.
Yeah.
I know, which is weird because like I tend
But
to be.
that's intense.
I know. I tend to be pretty optimistic and fun, but again, I like to play characters who aren't as much like me.
Okay.
You know, so even though like I try to be like, you know, pretty easygoing or whatever, I like character. I'm sorry.
Does that make you invisible when you?
I don't necessarily know if it makes me invisible because there's the character and there's you and there's a fusion. The question is, where do you lie on that?
Yeah.
You know, so there's any character I portray, there's a part of me that comes to it. I find characteristics within myself. So it's more about what parts of you do you highlight. I mean, but I do like to. I'm an actor who likes to bring myself closer to the character rather than bring every character to me because that's kind of easy. I mean, if every character is just me, then am I really acting? I'm just sort of.
They're just being you.
I'm just being me, which is fine, and it's fine. But for me, that's not interesting. I like playing.
It's not a
challenging part of
challenge.
it. Yeah.
And how quickly can you get into your character?
It depends on the character. If I've been working on it for a while, then maybe sometimes you can drop into it a lot quicker. But there are other characters, you know, it takes a long time, and that's again where we talk about the preparation. Why, like I said before, with the workshop, what we did was, you know, sent them scripts, sent them sides, and I specifically said, look, work on this. So you bring a character because it might not be something you could turn on and turn off. I think sometimes people, and honestly, myself included back in the day, thought it was kind of like a light switch. Yeah. Where I could just kind of turn it on and off. It doesn't work that way. Because the idea is, for me, a character speaks differently. A character speaks a certain way. He moves a certain way. He thinks a certain way. So you need to really be able to embody that. And I think that's the key, in my opinion, at least in one of being a great actor, is really kind of seeing that transformation. You look at Meryl Streep, who I think is one of the greatest actors of all time, and she just morphs into something, you
Yeah.
know, and you just don't really know. You almost kind of don't know who she is.
You
don't
see her in
no
a new
she-
movie and you're like, is that what she's really like?
Yeah,
that's how
and
convincing it
that's
is.
exactly
Yeah.
what it is. It's like, who is this person? Who are they? You know, like, what is this person like? That's so true. You know, it's
Yeah.
like I don't even know who the real person is because they're always doing something different.
Yeah,
So yeah.
yeah.
So let's see your best Luther.
Oh, my best captain, like Lex Luthor. Well, I play. This guy is more.
Let's see your intense.
Well,
what is it? Intense
my
detective.
I'd have
Yeah.
to be a little more serious because this guy's a little more deep,
Yeah.
and so
you
he's
could
just
take
sort
off
of
the
like
mask too, so we can see.
So we can see it. So we're seeing the
on
process.
the spot. Again, this is where the private stuff would come in or whatever. But I'd have to go. So then, where are we going? What are we gonna do? Because I don't know where we're going with this. But if you're serious about this, if you really want to do this as a passion, you need to be serious about this and put in the work. Again, no one told me that we were going to do this, but I'm talking to you right now. So if you want to be a serious actor, please make sure you go out and take this workshop. Even though there are no open spaces available, as far as I'm aware. I don't know what I was saying. That was very, that might not be very good actually. So please don't judge my acting based on that.
Hey, that was good. That was great.
You did make me feel like I was in an interrogation room.
I know, again, that was very
I nearly said it wasn't me. It's her.
And you know, I'm gonna have a lot of friends who are gonna be like, "That sucks. You were a horrible actor. How do you have your job?" I swear to God, I can do better than that.
You can blame
Oh.
us. Just
It's okay,
say,
it's
"Those
fine,
people
it's
didn't
fine."
tell us what
These
was
things
happening."
happen. Yeah.
What's it been like so far? Having everybody it's a small group. Let's be clear. You have a small selected group of actors who are already working, who are in the training. But what has it been like?
For the workshop?
Yeah.
It's just emails right now. We're
What you say about the process for
we're
you
gonna
and all
be-
that?
oh,
How's that been?
It's been good. They've been very, they've reached out. And I was surprised, as I said, because almost everyone has acted in either a film that's been shot here or locally or from outside. And they're very, some have been on TikTok. So it's clear that they want to see themselves move forward. They want to, I was happy that they signed up because they want to better themselves. They want to improve their craft. They obviously see a future in it. So, so there's very few that were just like maybe 1 or 2 persons that says, "Oh, I want to act. I just want to act. I don't know what to do." But the others, they submitted resumes. So I asked them for their actor's resume, and if they didn't have it, they created it, and it was great because it's the start of building that resume where you put your name and the production you've been in and the director's
And here's
name.
the thing, for people, to be honest with you, people like that who just do reach out and say, "Hey, I want to act, but I don't know what to do." I love that because that's the main thing too. Is like, you know, the idea that you're aware that you don't know something, so you want to improve on that.
Yeah.
That's the main thing too, because a lot of times you have people have egos who are like, "No, I know what I'm doing. I don't need your help."
Oh my
I love the
God.
idea that they would reach out and say, "Hey, I'm not sure, so how do I improve?" I think that's, to be honest, that is huge. Like, to me, even, you know, I've been in the business for a good amount of time.
Yeah.
I never stop learning.
Yeah.
If I ever stop learning, I probably should stop doing what I do.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
I love that they have people who do,
And it's
who
the
do that as
same
well.
with us here. It's always about learning. This is like a big university, and so learning. You should never stop, indeed.
Yeah.
So this workshop is going to be tomorrow.
Yes.
Right. I noticed that you've pointed at Victor Davis. He's coming through the film commissioner. He's a casting agent in Los Angeles. So he's casted for A Few Good Men. Some of his past works in the past were Boys in the Hood,
Cool.
a whole bunch of films like that. And so Victor was very interested in seeing what sort of talent we had here.
Yeah.
He loves Wallace clips.
More than me sometimes.
I had to point out he's a facilitator. But yeah, so he's excited to see what we have in Belize, just to sort of also give some tips on what, as a casting agent, he would be looking for
which is
from
great,
them.
which is
And
great.
so he's joining us virtually
Yeah.
just to
Oh,
see
wow.
how it works,
This
and
is
he'll
nice.
be on.
This is
So
nice.
we're excited that they have
they've done
that
this, that's done a
opportunity.
great job organizing this whole thing. I mean, again, and this is something we kind of threw together on the fly in a way to
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
squeeze it all in, you know, amongst everything. So, and for everyone who's you know, volunteered and was getting involved and, you know, again, reached out, I so appreciate it, just because, like I said, the fact that you're willing to learn and willing to give, you know, just figure out and become a better person, I think that's something we could all aspire and should try to do. So it's great.
What's your ultimate goal? What do you want to leave the people that you work with? How far do you want to take them?
I just want to, well, To be honest, I don't know if there's necessarily a space I want to take them. I would like to imagine that they feel that they've left better than they came in.
Yeah.
You know, because it all depends. Like we said, everyone's in different boats. Like if somebody comes in and they have maybe less experience and they don't understand just the idea of like eye line, things like that, and like how do you interact with somebody, that might be something. Whereas in someone else, it might be more advanced. It might be something about like, okay, more deeper character work.
Yeah.
It's simply to just improve on wherever you are. So if someone comes and they leave and they're like, you know what, I feel better and more ready than I did before. That's all that matters to me. I'm just that's how I see things.
Excellent.
I wanted to ask him a quick question about
Oh, of
method
course.
acting.
Oh yes, sure. Hi, Suzette.
Welcome to my.
It's not like she didn't have you all the time.
No. Tell us we were together before.
So in 2012, that's when I first heard about Willie Parks.
Oh.
There was this film called Premium Rush.
Back
and
in the day.
Back in the day, like almost 9 years
9
ago.
years.
Yeah.
But he was on TV.
I did a show called DV's Mates. Yeah.
No, he was on
love
Devious
Devious
Mates.
Mates.
He's done.
Oh, sorry.
It's all right.
But
Devious
I'm
Mates.
gonna go back to Premium Rush.
Okay.
So he played a bicycle messenger, and the film was pretty much on bicycle the whole time.
Yeah.
Did you have to train to do that?
Oh yeah,
Did that hurt?
And I got cast. We all got injured. Everyone. It became a rite of passage. It was a movie. Like the best way to describe it is sort of like Fast and the Furious, but on bicycles.
Oh.
And yeah, all the leads who were on the bikes, we all had training. I got cast last, so I think I only had maybe 3 weeks of training. I don't remember exactly because it was so long ago, but I had the least amount of training out of everyone. And we had a bunch of stunt doubles, and that's the thing too. By the way, I always stress the amount of like. It's not just the people you see on the camera. Like there are people behind the scenes.
Yeah.
There are stunt doubles, and they get involved. But yeah, it's something where I had to learn how to ride a bike. I mean, like I know how to ride a bike, but like that, but the way I'm not that bad.
It's okay if you learn that.
I never ridden a bike before. No, but like things like that, like to like really get. Oh, actually, that's stuff over there. Yeah, to really like get heavily involved in like that's a different kind of level. But yeah, it's just something you just.
I remember that movie too.
Yeah.
That was a good one. That was a good one.
Yeah.
But Devious Mates, man. Oh my God.
This is like real fan love coming here, right?
I wish I would have known. I could have reached out to
Oh my
Rosalind Sanchez.
goodness.
You could have reached out. No,
Yeah. Oh,
That
was
seems to be where
that
it's
was
coming from.
and that's what it is. Exactly. It's like Rosalind Sanchez.
Tell us
Oh.
a behind the scenes story. A scene in anything that you've done that people would never guess what's happening behind the
Oh
scenes.
my God. Oh, well, okay. Well, now because we're talking about Premium Rush, I guess I'll talk about this briefly. Like we all got injured. Because when she was talking about like bike message, we all took it very seriously. So George McGowan-Levitt, and also his stunt double, there was a stunt they were doing, and they it didn't go exactly to plan, and they both went like hit a windshield or either windshield or the rear window of a cab. And they like did that. Like for me, I had a scene where the guy was telling me the bike trainer or whatever. He said, "Listen, whatever you're gonna do is a hard turn. Instinctually, you're gonna want to brake with your, the back wheel or whatever.
Yeah.
Do not do that. Do not." And I said, "Okay, I get it." He said, "Do not. You're gonna instinctually want to do it. Don't do it." And I did it, and I fell, and I broke my bike, and the bike I had was a very expensive bike, and I tore my leg up, like
my
literally
God.
this whole section. A lot of people got injured on that movie. So TMI, I don't know.
Yeah.
So we.
So you just bandaged up and kept on going?
You just keep going. Like no, like that's just something you do. But that's something which a lot of actors do. I mean, like I've worked with a lot of like good A-list people, and that's the thing. It's just you realize it's not just about you.
Yeah.
The show must go on, like they say in the theater. It's something you do in a theater and also film. You got to get it done.
How long did it take you guys to shot Premium Rush?
A couple of months, maybe 2 or 3 months. We shot it over the summer.
Okay.
It was really cool. We shot obviously in New York City. It was great. That's my hometown.
Yeah.
Had a lot of fun. I was working a regular job at the same time while I was doing that, so that was a little crazy.
Is it like everyday shooting or?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Every day. I mean, well, at least 5 days a week. Sometimes 6 days a week. It depends on the on the show or the movie. But yeah, it was something we had a good time doing, and I love it because it was and that's me and my patient in the background. There you go. Yeah, so we had a good time shooting that.
Red carpet?
That was the red carpet for Premium Rush. Yeah, that was back in the day. That was it's 9 years.
No, you
ago.
love watching yourself on TV?
No, I do not. I am not. That's why it's kind of funny for me. I'm like, that's me, looking at me.
Why is my mouth moving that way?
Yeah. I'm self-critical, as probably most people are who are on television. Yeah.
So this particular opportunity is only for a few selected actors. Where do you want it to go from here?
We will do more.
Yeah.
We will do more workshops over time. Perhaps not all with Willie, but different people that will come along.
Yeah.
We basically need to get stories out.
Yeah.
So we're working on script writing,
Okay.
having people pull out the stories that they want to tell, and then we want to have the actors who can take these stories a bit further.
Yeah.
In my personal opinion, I think we have a lot of people with tech skills now that, that I don't think we need to stress that much training on production, but we need to actually get the stories out, because there's no point in having a camera and nothing to tell, no story
That's true.
to tell.
Yeah.
So we got that's an area that we want to concentrate on.
And what do you think of Belize as a film destination? I know this has been a heavy push, and we've had quite a few crews come down already.
Well, that's interesting. We were talking about that before. It's kind of like what comes first, the chicken or the egg. Like a lot of times people are like, oh, why don't you just have like a big film just come down here and shoot? Well, the thing is, a lot of times they go to places where there are already tax breaks involved. They already have crew members there. Like for instance, our show, we shoot in Vancouver. A lot of shows shoot in Vancouver in Canada, and that's like a really popular destination. It's honestly, it's nicknamed like Hollywood North.
Oh, wow.
Because so many things shoot up there because they have the infrastructure already. So because the thing is, you got to think about, it's all a business. So if I'm a producer and if I could go someplace where they already have sound stages already, they already have crew members available, like your crew member people work on the show already who are here, then I can like already tap into those people and hire them locally. So and sometimes it's probably a lot easier for a producer to go to a place which has the infrastructure already in place, rather than to say, hey, I'm willing to take a shot and a risk. I'm going to bring all this equipment, all this stuff, all this money here, and they're not sure if it's going to work out or not. So if Belize wants to, become bigger with that, and you can, I mean, listen, you can make a lot of money, and it can be a real big economic driver. We have a lot of cities who do that. Then I think they need to encourage, work with Suzette, have meetings with her, talk about what's needed. Like I said, tax breaks, have crew members, have people learn not just, the stuff in front of the camera, but behind the camera, all those things.
Cool. All right.
Yeah.
Well, now we know exactly what's going to happen. This workshop is going down. A few people. It's going to be tomorrow.
It is, yeah.
And Willie is in town.
We're actually doing it at the Hub, the Community Resource Center off Lake Independence Boulevard, which is a beautiful space.
Yeah.
And
it
it's
is.
Working with youths, and so we may have a couple observers
Oh, that's beautiful.
I'm
who
sure.
might be
That's
watching.
good. That's good. That's okay. That's still good. Okay.
But we're very
Okay.
happy they were willing to partner with us on this. They saw the potential to
Nice.
keep
And also,
going.
Victor Davis will be joining you guys on Zoom.
Remotely,
Right.
yes.
All right,
Which would be
cool.
really cool.
All right. So it's going to be great.
It's going to be nice.
Looking forward to, I'm sure everybody who will be a part of it, looking forward to it as well.
Yeah,
But guys, I want to thank you so very much for coming in this morning.
Thank you
you.
so much.
Nice,
How's
nice,
your
nice.
crew?
And what's the website for your film institute, your film festival, so people look that up?
BelizeFilmFestival.com.
Yeah.
Boom, there we
Easy.
go.
Yeah.
Easy.
Good promoter, isn't he?
Well, you want people to like pay attention. 'Cause,
Actually, this is the first of activities because our festival will take place virtually in November.
Nice.
So November 5th to the 14th, we will be having a festival, and so there will be some more activities leading up to that.
Sweet.
Gotcha.
But your final question is, what's this?
Oh, how's your Creole?
Oh, we ain't doing that. We embarrassing myself. We'll do that when the cameras are off. We'll attempt that. I understand it much better than I speak it.
Mom.
But he's been
I know,
eating
play
it.
mom. No, I am not going to try to tell. This is no. Y'all put me on the spot. I have to act without a mask already. We ain't going to embarrass ourselves.
Well.
All right, so that's your character that you'll come back with.
Exactly. I'll prepare.
Yes.
And I'm going to come with the Creole accent.
Street
and
Creole.
everything.
That's your next
The
character.
whole
You're gonna
time.
be, cool.
You can get it.
It was great. Suzette, thank you. Willie Parks, thank you so very much. It's going down tomorrow. Thank you guys for joining us and wishing you a great day.
Thank you so much.
Alright.
Appreciate you guys.
All
having
right,
us.
so we've
Thank
got to
you.
take a break. When we come back, we'll be topping into a live demo and more. More information about a phase 1 of the Muriel project in Belmopan. As a matter of fact, it's happening across the country. But we'll tell you more about that when we come back. Stay with us.